Kayla, what are you trying to achieve here at Arlington Park?
I think the thing we're trying to achieve is an environment where children can assume more and more responsibility for their own learning. An environment where they can be able to acquire the skills they need at their particular level, and an environment that allows them to do this using some of their own unique learning styles and some of their own unique interests and choices about the kinds of things that are going to happen to them during the school day.
Well, how does an open school help you achieve this idea of individualized instruction?
Actually, Pat, I think the open school helps achieve it in the flexibility it allows, because it's so much easier to, for example, for teachers to work in teams when they are in one room rather than in self-contained classrooms. It's so much easier for children to move about during the school day when there is an openness, and when a matter of, for example, going into the resource center is just a matter of crossing a color coding in the carpet.
Well, as I understand it, this school was designed for some 350 kindergarten through 5th grade students. It is essentially a non-graded school with one team of teachers working with the younger children and a second team working with 4th and 5th graders. This means that each child works at his own level, rather than where someone has arbitrarily decided a 3rd grader should be. Because the teachers work in teams, the children are only rarely grouped as they would be in a traditional class. That is, 27 children working with one teacher on the same thing. Instead, at Arlington Park, 45 children may be having an art lesson, while 8 get reading instruction from a second teacher. But the reading teacher wouldn't work with all 8 at once. She might work with 3 of them, while the other 5 work on their own with program materials. This doesn't mean the school day is without structure, though. Indeed, students move about the school at specified times, going to language arts, science, or math classes. What is different about the school, as I understand it, is the way the curriculum and the students are organized within those time blocks to individualize instruction.
Many of our children are being put on contracts. For the older children, the contracts are pretty sophisticated, where a child will contract to do a certain amount of spelling and a certain amount of language arts, creative writing, and a certain amount of leisure research kind of activities, and a certain amount of reading. And he makes this contract with his teacher, and then he has a time period where he will work on it himself, selecting the kinds of things he wants to do, and then he will go back for a conference with his teacher. And these contracts vary according to the child's ability to handle it. For example, some children will be on a contract for an hour, whereas some children can handle a contract that will go over a week period, where he's just checking in with the teacher daily on the kinds of things he's doing, but mostly he's working on his own, fulfilling his obligations. So you see, part of the thing we have to look at, Pat, when we're dealing with children is not just the reading level and math level, but their responsibility level. How much responsibility can the child really handle?
What are the examples of the things that you see that make you believe this program is working?
It's difficult to put your finger on, but I see children working independently. I see children who are self-motivated, who are doing work because of intrinsic motivation, not because the teacher said, you do this or you'll get an F.
Well, obviously you've only been in this school for a few months. Where are you in terms of achieving what you think the school should look like?
I don't think the staff is satisfied with what we're doing now. For example, I feel that we are all working to make all of our children a little more responsible for their learning, a little more independent. And we're all working to create an environment where children have more choices in the kinds of things they do, and they are more responsible for their learning situations than an adult dictating this. But this is not the kind of school we have now, and I think it will remain, I think it would always be developmental, because I think anytime we said this is a perfect program, then we would have lost the process we were going through